morning everybody. So I am doing a reading vlog. So I've been trying to do things like reading vlogs that are themed, or a series where I feel like I can spend a week to just kind of bust out. And recently I polled on Twitter asking people in terms of which themes or series I should try to read for my first reading vlog that I'm doing right now. So for this poll I decided to pick two themes, two genres. One was contemporary or sci-fi and fantasy, and then I picked two series that I think I really wanted to read sooner rather than later, and I was hoping that people would poll and pick these series, but no one did. So I'll put an image here for you guys to see what the actual results were. But as you can see, contemporary and fantasy / sci-fi was tied at 33%. So I decided to just go based on my mood at this point. I'm going to do contemporary for this week because I just finished reading the entire series of Throne of Glass, and that's very fantasy, and I'm not really in the mood for fantasy right now. I'm more in the mood for contemporary. So I decided to go with contemporary as the theme for this week's reading vlog. So based on the polls, so I did two polls for contemporary. One is backlist, which means that they are from 2017 and earlier on, and the other one is 2018 picks, so they're like new releases. Also, if you can hear something in the background, it's because my roommate decided to go take a shower. So anyways, whatever. So for the 2018 picks, you can clearly tell from this image here that A Burgeoning Contact by Mary H.K. Chow won, which I'm actually really excited to read because this book sounds really interesting. And then the second book that won at 31% is I Have Lost My Way by GAYLE, which I am also very intrigued by. I recently read her entire series of Just One Day and absolutely loved it, so I have really high hopes for this book. And then for my backlisted books, as you can clearly tell from the image here, Far From the Tree won by BENWAY, and I'm pretty excited for it. I believe there's actually a movie that came out recently. I just don't know if it's based on this book per se. And then for the second place in my backlist, as you can tell, there's clearly a tie here. So the first book is Everything Must Go by Jenny FRAN Davis, which I got this book a while ago, and honestly I do need to pick this up sooner rather than later, so I'm glad to actually have a chance to pick this book up now. And the final book that I want to pick up this week is The Map That Leads to You by J.P. Moninger. This is the other one that was tied for the backlisted books. So anyways, I'll update you guys later as I try to read more of Emergency Contact, or pick this one up finally. So anyways, yeah. Hey guys, so I decided to do another update. It's still Saturday, November 10th. I've been reading this book in and out of my commute and stuff. So far I'm actually already on page 48, so it's not too bad. Got a good chunk. Okay, not really, about 50 pages in, and there is just over like 350, so I'm like what, 1/7 of the way for this book. Honestly, so far it's not bad. For those who don't know who this book is about, it's about those two characters, Penny Lee and Sam. Penny just went to college. She just graduated from high school, and I guess her high school experience was like not the greatest, so she's hoping that her college will be better, and she wants to learn to become a writer. And Sam, on the flip side, is stuck apparently financially, literally, figuratively, etc. He works at this cafe and he sleeps there too, and one day they had this really awkward meet cute situation, and from there they start to stay in touch, even though it was an awkward situation. I don't really know, but they become digitally inseparable. So I'm pretty excited for this book. It sounds like a very fluffy novel. So far I just got to the part where they just met. But anyway, that's all I have to say for right now. Probably update you guys tomorrow or the next day, depends on whenever I finish this book. But yeah, that's my update for now. Hey guys, so I am giving you guys an update right now. It is a Monday night. I just finished filming 2 videos, which I don't usually do on weekdays, but I really want to get those videos out, so that's why I actually have makeup on right now. But I want to give you guys an update on the books I read this weekend. I finished this one, Emergency Contact, earlier today on my ride back home, and I love this book, you guys. This book is so good. It is the cutest book, honestly. Like, this book gave me the warm and fuzzies for real. So this book talks about the relationship. It's very digital. It's all about texting, and then it progresses into calls, etc. And honestly, I was a little worried about this book because for a short period of time, a very short period of time, it didn't seem like they were progressing anywhere, because all the text just seemed very much, you know, like, oh, how you're doing, you know, like, how's life, you know, what your class is doing, etc., etc. Like, it was deep, but it wasn't deep in the terms of like being flirtatious at all from either side. So I wasn't sure if it would actually be a romance. I mean, I knew for a fact it was, but at the same time, like, it did give me some pause, like, is it going to be? So yeah, I mean, by the end of the day, I love this book. This book is so good. There's actually a few quotes in here that I thought were really funny and it stood out to me. So the first quote actually is more of like a silly quote. It really doesn't mean too much to me, but I just thought it was kind of funny. So it says over here, knowing that your only computer was about to crap on you despite not having nearly enough money to replace it can only be described as horror. Horror and terror. Horror, which I thought, I don't know, I thought that was hilarious. I don't know why, I have a weird sense of humor. And then the second quote that actually stood out to me is one that's actually really important. So this one is from the perspective of Penny, I believe. Well, it's through a text, yes, from the perspective of Penny, and they're texting each other, and she says, I haven't ever seen a writer, a big deal writer, who looks like me, and sometimes when I write, I imagine the hero as white, like automatically. How fucked up is that? And that just really stood out to me. So Penny Lee is a Korean American girl, and she's obviously a person of color, and the fact that she said that, I was like, oh my god. So I thought that quote was actually a really good quote, and I love that the author put it in there, because, you know, it actually really stood out to me, to be honest. So anyways, enough about this book. I loved it. I don't know how many stars for sure, but maybe like a 4-star, because it's still a contemporary. I don't know if it really deserves 5 stars. I feel like 5 stars deserves for like the extremely amazing books. And while I enjoy this book, I don't think it's quite yet in that high of a category. But yeah, I love the dynamic between Penny and Sam in here. I love the dynamic between Penny and her mom, Celeste, and her friends, Jude and Mallory. Great, I forget her name. Clearly she was not that important, guys. She was like the other friend. But yeah, Mallory. So I love all the characters in the book, to be honest. They have great dynamic. They have great friendship goes, mom goes, guy goes, I guess. Everything about this book is actually really good, and I really liked it for a fluffy novel. So obviously on my way back, I finished this book, and I knew I was gonna finish this book, so I brought my second book, which I decided to pick up, which is Everything Must Go by Jenny Fran Davis. Honestly, this book I just started. I am currently on page 14, so not that deep into it at all. It's about a girl called Flora who basically she goes to like a preppy school in uptown, like upstate New York, and she ends up meeting this tutor guy called Elijah Huck, and she falls in love with him. And I guess somehow, I don't know what happens, I haven't gotten to that part yet, but he ends up leaving the school, like he goes off on his own, whatever, and I guess he tells her that he is now going to a remote Quaker boarding school for his next gig, probably as a tutor again. Not really sure, to be honest, but he's also a photographer according to the front flap, and so she follows him there. Unfortunately, he doesn't show up at the boarding school, and now she has to figure out what to do because she follows him there, and I guess she enrolls in that school, so she can't just simply leave. Yeah, I haven't gotten really far yet, but so far it's very much a love-struck kind of situation where the girl meets him, has this like few minutes encounter, and is immediately in love with him. So I'm not so sure how much I like that, because I really don't like stuff where it's like love at first sight, because who actually has love at first sight? I mean, come on, that is so not reality. But anyways, I mean, it is fiction, but I still like things kind of in the basis of reality when it comes to relationships, like romantic relationships. So I don't know, we'll see how this book goes, but as of right now, that is my first initial thought about this book, and I haven't gotten really far yet, so I'll update you guys. Hey guys, so giving you guys a really quick update because I am about halfway through with this book right now. I'm currently on page 161, so I still have quite a ways to go, but I don't know if I like this book. This book is really strange. So anyway, in terms of the character Flora, I can't decide if I like her or not. I do find her, she complains a lot, I guess that's what it is, but at the same time she is in this very unknown setting right now, and because she decided to basically follow some random guy, so her, I feel like she's, in a way, she's very, like, she's an idiot for doing so, but at the same time, from the impressions I get from her, from other people, etc., she is a very like a thoughtful person, and I don't know, it's just weird, like a weird dichotomy between how thoughtful she is with her academics and her love for writing and all that stuff, compared to her lack of judgment when it comes to romance. I don't know, like, maybe just because I'm older now, I don't know, but I just find her very spontaneous in that regard, which seems very strange compared to everything else I've read about her so far. So honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of this book because I'm not the biggest fan of her, and I'm very much a character driven person when it comes to reading and loving books. I need the characters to be amazing, and if it's not amazing, then at least the very minimum least of the plot has to be amazing. And so far the plot isn't, I mean, it's okay, but the character Flora herself, I have very mixed feelings about her. So anyways, that's my update for now. Hopefully I get to read a little bit more tonight, because right now it's only 6:30 or so, but I do have to do a lot of editing for my book haul video that's coming out this Thursday, so I do have to work on that. Hopefully I get a lot of that done, and then once that's done I can pick up this a little bit more. But then if my roommates come home, we are kind of in the middle of watching American Horror Story together, season 1, which we are very into right now. All 3 of us are just literally just watching it. When the 3 of us are home, we're like, can we watch it? Let's watch it. So if that happens, well then, you know, this book is just not gonna happen as much. But yeah, so far yeah, that's all I can say for this update right now. Hey guys, giving you another quick update right now since I just got home from work. Currently it is Wednesday and it's around 7 p.m. I have officially finished this book, Everything Must Go by Jenny Fran Davis. Honestly, I think I'll give this book either a 2 or 3 star. I haven't really decided yet, because this book is actually, it does get better towards the second half of it. It talks a lot about feminism, it talks about friendships, it talks about, you know, like learning to love your own body and respecting your own body, specifically a woman's body. And honestly, like, the book, there are some, because it discusses such interesting topics and important topics, I do give this book a 3, but at the same time I really did not like Flora at all. She is, I don't know, like, she does get better towards the end, but for a good chunk of the book, did not like her, didn't like the guy Elijah either. And I'm a huge, like, characters for me are really important, and because I don't like her at all, I can't really give, I feel kind of bad about giving this a 3, so I'm leaning towards a 2, but definitely somewhere between the 2 of them. Anyways, the ending was better than it was in the beginning, so I definitely ended it on the high notes. The next book that I picked up right away though, because I finished the book on the subway, is Far From the Tree by BENWAY. This seems to follow a girl called Grace. I literally just started it. I'm on page 34. Follow the girl called Grace, and she was adopted. She knew that she was adopted from a young age, and then one day something happens. She gives birth to her own daughter at the age of 16. She makes the decision to give away her own daughter, and because of that she decides to go find her own birth mother, and from there she finds out that she actually has a younger sister as well as an older brother, and the book just really follows the 3 of them. So far it's not bad, actually. It seems like a really fast read. I only read this book for about 10 minutes and I'm already on page 34, so I'm really hoping that I will finish this book, not tonight of course, but sometime tomorrow, and we'll see how this goes. So anyway, that's all I have to say in terms of my status right now. But yeah, I guess I'll update you guys more as I read more of this book. Hey guys, doing another quick update. It's already Friday, and I meant to update you guys yesterday, but unfortunately I got distracted. Well, I was filming 2 videos, and then my roommates came back and we decided to watch American Horror Story, which by the way is really good. We're season 1. I think we're episode like 7, possibly 8 now. We're almost ish done with it, but it's so good. Like, time just flew by, and by the time I realized that I forgot to update you guys last night, it was a Friday morning. So I'm giving you guys a quick update because I actually read quite a good chunk on my book so far. So last I checked, I was reading this book. I have officially finished reading this. I finished during lunch today at work, and I love this book. This book is so good. I want to say it's a 5-star, but I feel like it's more like a 4, 4.5, because it's a very simple book. And I'm not saying that like 5 stars cannot be simple books, because they totally can, but there's just, I feel like my 5 stars has to be books that are just so amazing that I'm going to think about for a very long time, and at this point that hasn't gotten to that. So I want to say like 4.5, 4-star, but it is a very solid, very, very good book in so many ways. I absolutely love this book. For me, my favorite character was Jacqueline. Well, his like nickname is pronounced Jacques, so I'm gonna say that. And I actually like his perspective the most. So the book follows all 3 of the perspectives. There's Grace, Maya, and Jacques. And I think Jacques, for me, seemed the most emotional. There were just so much feelings involved in it, and I felt more, I guess, I wouldn't say like relatable to him, because his situation is not at all my situation ever, but the author did such a good job of evoking all of the feelings for his perspective. Whereas for Maya and Grace, like, yes, they're very emotional, etc., but I think Jacques' perspective somehow just exuded that even more. So I actually really like his perspective the most. He's definitely my favorite character in the entire book. The ending was really good. I thought it was done really, really well, and I just liked how the author did such a good job with actually like tying everything together at the really end in the epilogue. I definitely cannot recommend this book enough, because if you're looking, honestly, this book is just really good. I mean, if you're looking for a good book to pick up, this is definitely one. So after that, I started this 4th book on my pile of 5 that I was hoping to finish. Honestly, I don't think I'm gonna finish it. My initial assessment of myself was correct, where I said I would do 4 in a week, because that I can do. 5, I feel like was kind of pushing it, so I don't think I'll pick it up, to be honest, because I'm only halfway through with this 4th book. I started during lunch today, and I Have Lost My Way by GAYLE FORMAN. Honestly, I was deciding between this one and that one, but this was a lot shorter. It's like 250 pages, so I figured this would be an easier book for me to actually finish before the week's over, because tomorrow's Saturday already, and honestly, I'm extremely busy. I have, what do I have tomorrow? I have this adoption thing I'm going to, which, puppies, and then I have, oh, I'm doing this like CSA thing with my roommate, so we have to go pick that up, which is super heavy. I think it's like 30 pounds, and so I have to go over to grab that, and then I'm having Thanksgiving or Friendsgiving dinner. So honestly, I will not be able to pick up the 5th book at all. I definitely can't finish that, but there's a very good chance that I will finish this one, because this one's actually a super easy read. I'm already halfway through, currently on page 124, and there's only like 250 pages, so I'm literally halfway through this book, and I only started during lunch, so this should be a very, very quick read for me. So this book is about these 3 kids. Their names are Freya, Haroon, and Nathaniel, and something happens and they somehow end up meeting each other in Central Park because of the fact that they have lost their ways, either in reality or metaphorically, etc. Like, they have all lost their ways in some regard, and there's parts of it that I like, and there's definitely parts of it that I'm kind of not so sure about. So first of all, in terms of the character, I really like Haroon the best. He is this gay teenager, and he is really struggling with coming out and trying to tell his family the truth, and he's had this relationship with a boy called James for the longest time. And this book just talks about how he lost his way because I guess they broke up, because James was like, I'm done with you trying to hide me, you know, like, I guess, I'm assuming that's what it is. They don't really go into detail about how they broke up, but from what I gathered so far, since I'm halfway through, is that Haroon does not want to tell his parents. He's very uncomfortable with that. He wants to play the good kid. So that's how he lost his way, and I like his part the best so far. In terms of Freya, I don't know, her part is a little bit ambiguous to me. I'm not really sure if I like her so much, because she's in the process of coming out of her like debut album, and she's kind of famous in a way, very pretty apparently, and apparently she's lost her way because she lost her voice, technically, is what it is. So I don't know, this weird strange of events happens. And in terms of Nathaniel, okay, he by far is the weirdest character. I don't really know what to think about him, to be honest, because he's such a weird character in a way. Not that I want to say he's like dumb or anything, but he's very, very absent-minded, I guess. So the way how the book is broken up, it follows these 3 perspectives, and then they have these flashbacks called the Order of Loss, and that one also talks into their different perspectives. So you get a perspective or like a flashback for every single character, and then you get a, you know, like in the present day for every single character as well. I actually really like that for the most part. I think that's actually a very unique way of writing the book. But in terms of Nathaniel, you get some flashback about his family, specifically his father, and I feel half bad for Nathaniel, but at the same time I feel kind of like, how are you this, I don't know, like, I don't want to say dumb because that seems a little too harsh, but there was an incident
basically where his father was all about like, oh, his father is also very like absent-minded, by the way, and his father wants to do this whole, you know, finding yourself conscious, you know, maybe we can expand our consciousness and our like senses, etc. And he basically tells his son to like go out to the forest and try to, you know, pretend we're blind and try to expand our consciousness. I don't know. And Nathaniel's like, okay, well, I'm gonna come, but not because of that, because I need to kind of take care of his father. He goes there, an incident happens, he starts bleeding, his dad's like, don't worry about it, you know, just put some leaves on, maybe it has some like bacterial like effect to you, like your healing process, I don't even know. And he basically just stands there with his dad for the next like, hour or so, and by the time he gets back home, it's like completely swollen. It's like, I don't know how, and by the time he gets to the like to the nurse, school's nurse, there's like pus oozing out, they go to the ER, and he ends up losing his eye because of his dad. It's exactly what happened. I'm just like, seriously, if you like, I was your father, that was your kid, I would have done things so differently. I've been like, no, dad, we are leaving now, this is serious,
and like the entire time when the incident happens, he's just like, I'm all good, it's all good, etc. And Freya and Harun were both very worried that there was something seriously wrong with his head, and I'm thinking the same too, to be honest. So I guess the author did a good job with kind of portraying that, because I definitely feel like there is something seriously wrong with Nathaniel in terms of his mind. But yeah, I'm really curious to see how this book will turn out. I mean, I'm already halfway through, so it shouldn't be too long. I'm kind of just curious to see how they'll each find their way back. So that's basically it. And I'm going to try to read this a little bit more before my roommate gets back, because once my roommate gets back, I'll be watching American Horror Story. At least that is the plan for tonight. Well, that is my plan for tonight. I have to see what time my roommate gets back first. So anyways, that's my update for now. I will update you guys tomorrow-ish. Yeah, to see how far I'm up with this one. But I should be done with this either by tonight or tomorrow for sure. This is a very simple book to finish. Hey guys, so doing a quick update, my last update before I finish this reading vlog. I just finished reading I Have Lost My Way by GAYLE FORMAN. Oh, by the way, it's Saturday, sometime in the afternoon. I'm doing a quick update before I head off for Friendsgiving with my friends in Jersey City, which is such a hassle to get there. But anyway, I'm pretty excited for it. But yeah, so I just finished reading this book. Honestly, I'm not super impressed with it. I'd probably give this a solid like 3 stars out of 5. The message that you find in this book is definitely more on the serious side, and I don't know, I mean, it was good. It just, I guess I was expecting something a little bit more different, and it kind of goes into details about, you know, being true to yourself, you know, sharing who you are to your family, especially for Harun's case, and then for Freya, for Nathaniel, it's their side. Well, Freya was mostly dealing with, you know, like getting along with her sister and like her family issues there, and Nathaniel, his side was mostly dealing with his father. So it is a lot of, they're definitely struggling with a lot of things in this book, and I do think the author did a good job with portraying that. I just don't think this was really my book, I guess. So I don't really know what to say, but I don't think this book was definitely a favorite of mine. I really enjoyed her previous books, If I Stay, Just One Day, the series. That was really great. But for this one, I don't know, this one was just didn't really, it's kind of a miss for me. Honestly, I feel like I said 3 out of 5, but I really want to say maybe like 2.5 out of 5, just because the characters, okay, so I guess if I break it down to you, characters were fine. I mean, it was interesting to see what they were going through, all their struggles and whatnot, but I just never felt connected, I guess, with any of the characters. I never felt involved or invested with any of their situations. So for me, that's really important. I feel like, personally for me, I'm a very big characters person. Like for books, I need to be involved with the characters, I need to be invested in them, because if I'm not, then I kind of get away from the book, or the plot has to be very gripping enough for me to stay very much in the book. The case with this book though is that the plot wasn't that intense for me. It was intriguing, but it wasn't gripping enough for me to be really into it, and the characters as well was pretty much the same. So because of that, this book, it's okay. Just was hoping a little bit more different, I guess, and expecting better things, but it was not a bad book. I just don't think I am the right audience, I suppose, for this book. But anyways, that's all I have to say for this video, for this reading vlog. I hope you guys enjoy this. Let me know down below if you guys like these type of themed reading vlogs, or if I should just do something more similar to what other people are doing, because I feel like the theme ones, personally for me, they're fun to do, but towards the end, I'm definitely a little bit like burned out by all like the one genre that I'm reading, because for this example, this week I was reading mostly contemporaries, so contemporary/contemporary romance. So a lot of books were in that realm, but I think I need to change up now and read something fantasy. So I was going to pick up the last book, the 5th book today, but I think I'm not going to do that because I'm really burned out by contemporary. So yeah, that's really it. I don't really have anything else to say, and I guess I'll see you guys next time for my next reading vlog, which probably will be around December, because it's already like Thanksgiving at this point. So yeah, probably do another one in December sometime. But anyways, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, if you like this video, please do give me a thumbs up, subscribe down below, don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. That's it for today, guys. Thank you. Bye.